Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of TMC, the Mainframe community from Mainframe Society. Joined currently by Brittney Painter from 21CS. Brittney, this is a pleasure, and you've gone seasonal with the earrings. You're all ready for Halloween.
I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me on.
It's a pleasure. The pleasure is all ours, really.
It's a pleasure to meet you in person.
Wow, I know how it feels because well, I don't want to fangirl both ways because otherwise the whole episode would just be like flattering each other. Oh no, stop it! No, you, no, you.
I feel like that's been the conference for me in general, meeting my heroes in person, really.
I know exactly how that feels though, and I think that's the joy of being at an event like this, isn't it?
Yes.
In that you have all these people, PJ Catalano, Lela Halloum, and obviously yourself. You've got all the team like Namitha, you've got Catherine and Libby, and Shari, and these are all like people I'm like, oh, I have so much admiration for them.
Yes, it really is. It's been larger than life. It really has. But getting to actually have access to them and talk to them one-to-one, and then having them introduce you to everyone and network has been invaluable. So it's just been fabulous. Everyone has been so wonderful. Being new to the platform and being new to the industry in general, it's been amazing. This has been an incredible experience.
So it goes without saying, this is your first tech exchange?
Absolutely.
Wow.
I am new to tech, absolutely new to tech, 6 months in. So I'm brand new.
That's amazing though. I mean, so I've gone to a tech exchange EMEA last January in I think it was January 2024, and that was in Barcelona. And obviously, just like how most countries in Europe are smaller than America, that was a much smaller conference. Yeah. This has blown me away. I was not anticipating such a big sandbox and so many sessions. And
they said 10,000 people, and I was like, oh, 10,000 people. I did not imagine this.
They're like a million square foot or something like that. I mean, you're getting your steps in just doing a lap of it, aren't you?
Absolutely.
It's brilliant. But no, I mean, it's a pleasure to have you here. And like you say, this event sort of symbolizes to me what community is all about. It's like you say, it's making connections. It's kind of extending a knowledge branch to people. It's saying, how can I help you? Maybe I can introduce you to someone. Maybe you can learn from me. I can learn from you. And it's all kind of, it's all a give and a take. It's all very collaborative, all very sharing, right?
It really is, absolutely is. And not just networking, but sharing ideas. And I think that's really powerful. It really speaks to the industry and where we're going, the creativity and the innovation. And I'm just really excited to see where we're headed.
And this is it. It's all about investment in the future as well. I think that people like this event and they go, oh, I've got like an experience for a week. Some people might even see it as a holiday. Now I won't, just so I get, my manager still pay for me to be here. Yeah. But some people might see it as a holiday. But I see it as an investment. I'm making connections, I'm learning, I'm sort of building my personal brands, I'm building the company brands. And I think in that way, like this is a real investment. It's a long-term kind of endeavor. Playing the long game. So.
I absolutely agree. You said it perfect, actually.
So I guess with an event like this, it goes without saying, community is a big thing here.
It is.
So what does the word community mean to you?
I feel like community is not just the people, but it's the ideas around the people.
Concepts, right?
Absolutely. And so having come into this industry and being exposed to so many different ideas, it's fascinating to see how everybody implements those ideas in different groups. But being new has been wonderful, being part of that new group, the new to Z group. Community is so vital. And bringing those new students, but also having the mentors come on board. It's just been wonderful. So community to me is just involvement and awareness. So education, I suppose, throw that one in there too.
But involvement is a really big point, right? In that you can't, community is such a weird thing. Like you can kind of passively be in a community, but I think people don't want to be, right? Like it's infectious. People see a community and they're like, I don't know, like that looks really good. I kind of want to be more, this space. I mean, there's this industry's got full of people, the mainframe space, and the vast majority of them try to come to events like this because they do want to be involved. They don't want to sit in the sidelines and go, you guys have fun at Tech Exchange. That's none of my business.
Yeah.
It's sort of like, it's just such an infectious, such a kind of a tangible thing. People want to sort of be involved. They don't want to be on the sidelines,
Agreed, absolutely. I almost feel like if you don't get involved, you're not, a part of that community, you're at a disadvantage.
Oh, you're missing out for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, I get fear of missing out at the best of times and the worst of times. And honestly, this is my first, like I say, time in America actually. So
really?
yeah, I know. Yeah.
Well, welcome.
I know. Wow. Yeah. It's a lot. I mean, like I'm from a little old UK, and I've hopped over a gigantic pond, and I'm here in one of the most humid places I could ever imagine.
really
so
is, yeah.
I'm out of my element. But you know what? I'm adapting. I'm sort of a fight or flight, and I'm trying to stick with it. So
At least you came during the fall and not the summer into Florida.
oh God, it gets worse, does it?
It's much warmer, yes.
Okay. So, I mean, community, like you say, it's a really important thing. But this is something that you are very prolific about on social media, on LinkedIn especially. So community isn't something that you just, like you say, you just sort of partake on part-time, as a little afterthought. It's like, it's a big deal.
It really is a big deal.
What community groups or community initiatives have you been a part of in the past, or maybe are a part of now? Because this isn't just the only thing you do, right?
No, sure. Like I mentioned, the New to Z group.
Exactly.
I'm very passionate about that. I think the initiatives in the universities is wonderful. I'm really excited to that. But VSE is a passion of mine, and getting that platform kind of revised and revitalized is really something that I'm driving forward. I feel like our VSE folks kind of got left on the sidelines, and so I'm ready to bring them back forward and bring them back into the fold with the community. So
isn't that just a microcosm for the Mainframe though? Sometimes things are like an afterthought, they're maybe underrepresented, underappreciated.
Yes.
And it's like, no, you deserve the limelight here. Like, let's give you the credit you're due.
Exactly. And our VSE folks are so prolific. They've been in this field for years and years. I mean, they have so much knowledge and so much background. I feel like we don't want to lose that, especially with this skills gap that's coming. We need to take advantage of that.
But it says a lot how their passion has, within only 6 months, rubbed off on you to a point where you're now here. You're like, oh, I'm buzzing. I can't wait to talk about VSE. And I think that's so amazing that, you could have just been like, 6 months in, I'm still sort of working out whether I care. I could quit. I don't have that investment. But no, you're here and you're like driven.
And that was one of the best things about joining and having the access to some of the folks that have been here for 20, 30, 40 years. When I first started, it was very overwhelming and discouraging a little, but sitting down and talking to them and hearing their stories about back in the 80s and the 70s when they first started working on this stuff and really designing it and making it their own, it was inspiring. I want to be a part of that, and it made me want to do more. So
it's like it's sort of like looking at the Magna Carta, right? You sort of think about it and you go, well, like these people have like kind of set the course of the future. They've set the course of history, and you just think, well, I want to leave my lasting mark. I want that legacy.
Yeah, to have that hand on something that is going to be there, far beyond, my reach and into the future is just amazing. So,
and outside of like your maybe say professional adjacent, so like New to Z chapters, obviously great, but they're sort of still tenuously associated, well, not tenuously, but associated with kind of the IBM Z ecosystem and the IBM ecosystem on the whole. Are there maybe any other initiatives you take part in? Is there maybe a sport, a hobby? We've had people who talked about ballroom dancing and religion. Is there anything else maybe, that you think I really feel a sense of belonging and purpose in that community?
Sure. So I'm from the beach, and that's where our office is in Morehead City. So I am a beach girl. Absolutely. I love anything outdoors. So getting outside and getting involved is really my passion.
Are we talking like surfing?
I wish I could surf.
Okay.
I wish.
I haven't got any sense of balance, so I envy that. Yeah.
No, there's hiking, camping. I love to do anything outside.
That's brilliant. So I guess that leads to my next question now. So obviously camping's very, very different from, technology and sort of this wider ecosystem. But has there been anything in that kind of camping, kind of beach going lifestyle that you found maybe transfers to your professional career or even vice versa?
I think when you have a passion for something and you really love what you do, regardless of what it is, it makes it fun. And when you're having fun, it's not really work, is it? I mean, you want to do better and you want to be involved and you want to, involve other people in that. So I feel like regardless of what you're doing, if you're having fun at the beach or at camping or Mainframes at TechXChange, I feel like it's really about enjoying what you do.
It's a valid point though, isn't it? Because, you could feel obligated to go camping. You could feel obligated to go hiking or
it
on
turns into
beachside
a chore
walks.
then.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's such a good point. Like I remember my parents sort of I say dragging me along to things as a kid. Like they wanted to do it, and because I was their son, I kind of had to do it.
Yeah.
And actually, there's things that I do now, and I do them more than I ever expected to, more than I ever would have done these things as a kid. And I had more free time then because I think I'm doing this out of love. I'm doing this out of passion, not out of obligation.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. The little things like the mosquitoes, for example, don't bother you nearly as much because you know you're out there for the love of it. So it's been really wonderful to meet other people who also share that passion. It really gets the momentum going and that snowball effect. So it's really wonderful.
And with that said, obviously, talking about this kind of this energy, this passion. So, have there been any maybe challenges that you've experienced in one of these? I know you just talking about mosquitoes, for example, that you may be experiencing something else. So, like, I had a pretty rough time in my last career. It wasn't mosquitoes, but it was a blood-sucking kind of industry,
Yes.
and I think sometimes you have to sort of turn around and say, like, is this, what do I want to do here? Like, what do I want to make a decision about staying or leaving or overcoming that adversity, that drive to stay committed in spite of that adversity. So maybe is there something there that you found?
So when I first came on board, I came from mental health. I was a mental health therapist. And so I came from, being the top in my field and I was the expert and I knew everything there was to know. And then, I came into Mainframes and I knew nothing. And so it was a really big adjustment for me to be the student for once and not be the teacher. But it was wonderful and humbling and great because I hadn't had that chance to really learn for a while. And so that would be the biggest hurdle and the biggest challenge I think that I've faced is my own humility, I think.
But that's so honest, isn't it? It's such a raw thing because I had a similar experience. I left aviation, I left engineering, and I thought, I wasn't the best in my field. I won't even pretend to be. But like, it was something I was getting confident in. I felt like, I had a place there. I had like, peers, I had like colleagues, but I had to start from scratch. And I think doing that, especially after 4 years or more than that, you start to realize, there's a lot of people who come into this space and, you take for granted maybe, I'm young and I can get all these opportunities, but other people might have kids, they might have things to juggle. They might have, they might have a partner to care for. So I think it's like you say, humility is a really important factor.
And one of the things that 21CS is doing, a huge initiative, is bringing in talent from other industries into tech and into mainframes. I will say, you said blood sucking in your last industry. I come from healthcare, so you would think that it was very nurturing and very inviting, except it really isn't, and it's very toxic and draining. And so coming into this space after so many years of being in that space, it has been amazing. So I want to share that with as many people as possible. I've tried to explain to my other friends who are in therapy or in education, like, I promise it is greener on the other side. So
I know people go, oh, I'm not sure. And it's like, I've taken that jump and I've not regretted it.
Yeah.
And I think, like you say, there's a place for anyone and everyone. I mean, this podcast kind of exemplifies that. We're asking people about things that aren't technical kind of side. We're asking about, you as a person, like what drives you? What do you do? Not to pay the bills, but because you love it. Obviously, we love the job and we love the industry, but outside of that. And I think that's the point, you can have someone come from, as a pilot like Sabine Dietz, and you've got people who work in aeronautical engineering, you've got people who are teachers like Jeffrey Decker, people who work in healthcare, all sorts of people from all sorts of different industries.
Exactly.
And yet we can all find a sense of belonging here, a sense of my identity is accepted, right?
Yes. It's that common ground, and as long as you have that desire to learn, there are so many people that will teach you. All you have to do is ask, and that has been the most amazing part, I think, of coming into this space and really feeling that embrace from just about everybody. So
if it's okay with you, speaking with people who've really helped you, who've mentored you, like nurtured your kind of interests and your aspirations, is there anyone you'd want to give a shout out to in this episode?
Oh gosh, my boss, I will say, Eddie Suliendo, he's been incredible. He recognized that I had potential and he's run with it. And I will say, Len Santalucia, I learned so much from you. At Boston Z Council, it was amazing. He sat me down and really explained the basics and made me feel like I could do this. So I want to say thank you so much.
Do you know what's lovely as well in this industry is people like you and I can say that about someone and say, these people, are the reason I've made it to where I am today. These are the people who made this a space I could belong in, I could really contribute in, I could be my best self in.
Yeah.
And yeah, at some point, someone's going to say the same about you or I. And I think
hope
that's lovely. There's that constant paying it forwards, that passing the baton, and
it's incredible. I've gotten to meet people like Dusty Rivers. I had on my show yesterday. I would have never imagined being able to
Starstruck.
have that conversation. Yes, you're talking about fangirls. I explained to him yesterday I was a huge fan, and so having that ability has just been incredible.
that I guess leads quite nicely to our, like, usually what is our last question, which is, you know, as a kind of guest on this podcast, you know, we like to sort of not just teach or kind of imbue ourselves onto our audience, but also maybe ask them to do something, ask them to challenge themselves or maybe push themselves. Is there anything you would say as a call to arms? You know, could our community do differently, try differently, think differently, act differently? Maybe not differently in a negative way, but just a shift.
Yeah, sure. Connect with each other, and not just within your same user group. You know, if you're doing Z, reach out to somebody for VSE, or vice versa. There are so many people that silo, and so I feel like we need to join across party lines almost, and we need to join hands. And I feel like when we do that, the community grows and education grows.
And we all win, right?
We all win.
I was on a Skills Council meeting yesterday with Eddie and Rebecca from 21CS, and you know, we were all sort of saying similar things in that this is an industry where a lot of people go, well, I'm a ZOS person and you're a VSC, so we're separate, and but then that's also an issue, not just kind of within our space, but also compared to other technologies, information technology. So you've got people go, oh, well, yeah, I'm a security person, but I don't work on the mainframe. And so they'll get all these secure alerts popping up, Chief Information Security Officer, and they go, well, I don't care about that. It's none of my business. I'm like, well, you probably should care. But it's this sense of silo. Like, we need to break those boundaries. We need to say there's something in common, whether it's a big monolithic kind of mainframe platform, or whether it's just a discipline, security, holistically, not security on X system or Y system.
Or this or that. Yeah, we can learn from each other, and we all have such valuable knowledge base that there has to be, you know, shared commonalities between all of us that we definitely can benefit from. So
I agree, and I think, you know, we've had some people on the podcast just today, and they've made comments like, you know, underneath all of these things that maybe are different, underneath things like, you know, race or age or gender or skin color or where you live or, you know, the time zones, every little thing like that. Actually, we're all human. We all have lived experiences. We all have, you know, emotions. And I think these things are actually, they're kind of, everything else is almost a bit superficial. That is the bottom line. Like, that's what makes us the same. So it separates us from a lot of animals who can't emote or they can't, you know, kind of express these things. So I think that's a beautiful point. Like, you know, connect.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I absolutely agree. You said it perfect.
So the one last question that we're asking just this week, just while we've got the TechXChange, you know, we had a block party, we've got this whole karaoke kind of opportunity. What's your go-to karaoke song? What's the song that you know all the lyrics to?
Oh, goodness. American Pie.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it's a long song, but I do know all nine.
That's incredible.
I can sing the whole thing. Yeah.
I mean, we're not going to ask you to.
Oh, please
but,
don't. Yeah.
But I think this is lovely, and I like the idea that it kind of helps us understand it again on a maybe more unconscious level. We understand our guests a bit more because we all have different tastes in music. We all have different experiences, and like you say, only by connecting do we learn that.
I will say that everybody I've met has pretty good taste in music, so I will give that credit.
Well, then you've only just met me, so I can prove that wrong. But honestly, Brittney, this has been such a pleasure. I've seen you all over LinkedIn, and I'm like, you know, we're both here. We need to seize the moment. So
I'm so glad we had this opportunity because ditto. I've looked at all of your stuff and I've been so excited to meet you in person. So this is fabulous. Thank you.
Well, the fangirling will continue later after this recording starts. But Brittney, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for 21CS for giving you the opportunity. Thank you to Mainframe Society for giving me the opportunity to host.